Very good. Actions that were completed before the actual moment, right? So I have a question for all of you. Thank you, Element. The question is, in simple past tense, is the action finished? Yes or no? In simple past tense, is the action finished? Yes or no? Very good. Yes. Excellent. Now, in your own words, let's see. Gabi, in your own words, what is simple present perfect? In your own words, what is present perfect?
Present perfect. Present perfect is about actions that you do it in the past and to at the moment.
Very good. Let's go to the whiteboard and we will see the difference between simple past and present perfect. So here we have a difference, and the difference is the following. In simple past, the actions are finished. In present perfect, the action happened in the past, but has impact or continuity in our present. Okay, please write in the chat the structure for present perfect. The structure for present perfect. It starts with subject plus complete, and write it in the chat. What is the structure for present perfect? It starts with subject and continue in the chat. Very good. So, what is next then, class? Subject plus, what is next?
Auxiliary have or has.
Have or has. And then what's next?
Verb in past participle.
Verb in past participle or third column and complement. Mhm. So, for example, Claudia have completed. Is that correct?
No.
Why is not correct?
Claudia
It
has.
has.
Oh, all right. Claudia has completed the exam since 12 p.m. So in present perfect, I have also the idea of an action finished. However, I need more details in my sentence. Why? Because present perfect is describing continuity of something. So it doesn't mean that Claudia will continue in the same exam, right? But what the sentence is describing is an action, right, that has an impact in the present. Here, I have the same sentence, but in simple past. Claudia completed the exam. I have the idea of the action already finished. And I don't need to specify more details. Does it make sense? In past tense, in simple past, the action is already finished. Questions so far? Something that is not very clear for you about simple past and present perfect? Okay, so let's ask to Nelsis. Nelsis, in past tense, we have two types of verbs. What are they?
Repeat again the question, please.
In simple past tense, we have two types of verbs. What are they?
In the verb, I don't understand ties. What is ties?
Types or kind of verbs, tipos. We have two kind or type of verbs in simple past tense. What are they?
In the first person, in the verse to add s.
That's in simple present. In simple past, I will give you a hint. Le voy a dar una pista.
Oh no, you add ed in the end word in if the verb is regular. When your verb is irregular, you look for the list of verbs.
Excellent. Yes, you got it. Woo, yay, 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 yay. Very good, Narcis. Very good. Regular and irregular verbs. In past tense, we have two types of verbs. Regulars, we add ed, but irregulars, this is not applicable. En past tense, no agregamos S a ningún verbo. ¿Ok? En he, she, it, en pasado no agregamos S. ¿Ok? Remember that. The S is only for simple present. So, knowing that, we have a different pronunciation for regular verbs. I will say the pronunciation in present tense and you need to say the pronunciation in past tense, okay? And because of the microphones, remember that you need to pronounce the verb, for example, ask, asked, tango. Love, loved, delta, ¿ok? Tienen que decir con qué letra se pronuncia y pronunciarlo, porque a veces no se distingue mucho en el Zoom, ¿ok? Let's see. Emerson, what is the past tense pronunciation for dance?
Delta?
Danced?
Danced?
No. What do you think, class?
Dance.
Dance with T. Dance with T. Let's see. Miguel, what is the past tense of cancel? What is the past tense of cancel?
Cancel. Letter T. Tango.
With delta. Cancel.
Oh.
Okay, next one. Valeska, what is the past tense of graduate? Graduate.
Graduated. Graduated. Yeah.
Graduated. Very good. All right, excellent. So let's see our document to review the pronunciation guide. Let's review. In the pronunciation of regular verbs class, we have three groups. Voiceless sounds, F, K, P, SH, CH, S, and X. In group number 2, we have voiced sounds, B, G, J, L, M, N, R, V, Z, and the vowels like play, stay. And group number 3, every verb that in the original form, the last sound is the letter T or D. For example, accept, add. Three groups of verbs. So how can I recognize what is the correct one? I need to pronounce it in my house. And for example, if I say cash, What sound is the last sound? ¿Cuál es el último sonido de este verbo? Cash. Cash. What's that sound?
SH.
SH. Is everyone agree with that? Move your head. Muevan sus cabecitas para saber que sí están de acuerdo. Very good. All right. So I say, oh, SH, first group. I pronounce with T, cashed, tango. So what about mention? Pronounce it in your houses. Mention. What sound is that?
And pronounce T.
And so I said, well, second group, in past tense, I pronounce the verbs with D, delta. It's mentioned, mentioned. No mentioned, mentioned. All right, so group number 3. Let's imagine that we have a word that is complete. Complete.
T.
The last sound is T. Is everyone agree? Complete. Pronounce it in your houses. Complete. So in past tense, what is the pronunciation?
Completed.
Complete. Complete.
Completed. Completed. Why? Because the verb in the original form, the last sound is with T. Let's go to the whiteboard so it can be more visual for you guys. Let's imagine that I have a verb. So, what's the sound of this verb? Play.
E.
Play, play. What's the last sound?
A.
A.
Oh, the sound of a vowel. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. It's a vowel. So in past tense, I will write this verb with ed. That's right. But what is the pronunciation?
Played.
Play.
Played. So as you can see, I consider the last sound of the verb. You see? The last sound in the original form of the verb. Let's do another one. So I have my verb here, and the verb is enter. Enter. What is the last sound of this verb?
R.
The R. Is everyone catching this? Yeah, the last sound in the original form of the verb with no conjugations. So if the sound is R, is group number 1, number 2, or number 3?
Number 2.
Number 2, right? So what's the pronunciation?
Entered.
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 Entered, no entered. Careful with that. Entered. Repeat. Entered. So the pronunciation is the same that if I add the letter D at the end of the verb. Entered. That's how you pronounce it. Entered. Repeat. Entered. Next example. I have a verb and the verb is need. Need. What's the last sound for this verb, class? Need.
D.
D.
D. Awesome. Very good. So, in past tense, I will write it with ed because it's a regular verb. And is it group number 1, 2, or 3?
Number 3.
Number 3. Is everyone agree? Yes. All right.
Yeah.
So here you can pronounce it as needed. Why? Because I will add the syllable id, this sound, to the last sound of the verb in past tense. So pronounce it, needed. Needed. It, needed. Is that clear? Makes sense. All right, so let's continue with the contest of pronunciation. All right, Camila, destroy, past tense of destroy.
Destroyed.
Tango?
D?
T as tango?
Yes.
What do you think, class?
With delta?
Penalty. No T as tango. Delta. Destroy. What is the last sound of destroy? E. Is that a vowel? E. So, rule number 1, number 2, or number 3?
Number 2.
Number 2. Okay. I like everyone doing 2 with the hands. I love it. Okay. So, number 2. Group number 2 with D. Destroyed. Repeating your houses. Destroyed. No, don't say, oh, teacher, you know, yesterday I played video games and I destroyed all my enemies. No, that's Iraq, Dubai accent. No, here we have good accent. Yeah. So next one. Let's see. Fabian. Shop. What is the past tense of shop?
Shopped with T as in tango.
Very good, very good. You catch it. Miguel. Cool. What is the past tense of cool?
Cool.
With tango?
Yeah, that.
So what do you think, class?
With D.
Delta.
Delta. In number 2.
Delta.
Remember, the sound of the L is group number 2. Cold. Repeating your houses. Cold. Very good. Okay. Next one. Let's see. Claudia. Paint. Paint. What is the past tense of paint?
With ed, painting. No, group number 3.
It's group number 3, but it's not ed, it's id.
ID.
So the pronunciation is painted. Repeat. Painted. Repeat, everyone in your houses. Painted. Painted. You got it. Okay. One more. Nelsis. Nelsis. The verb is save. Save. What is the past tense of save?
Take with D.
Very good. Ooh, yay. Emerson. The verb is omit. Omit.
Is a tango? Omit.
That's the last sound. But what is the pronunciation in past tense?
Omit. Omit.
Penalty. Omitted. Remember, group number 3. Verbs that in the original form ends with the sound of T or D. Omitted. Repeat, everyone. Omitted. All right. Camila?
Yes, you can share the document you showed as before.
Yes, absolutely. It's in the platform too, but I can share it directly here. No worries.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, you can see the document. Let's do a few rounds with the document. Let's make a deal. I will permit you to see the document a few rounds, but then we will not see the document. And if you're wrong, penalty. You will dance. La chona. Okay. So you can watch the document. I am merciful. Let's see. Valeska. What is the past tense of? What is the past tense of awake? Awake.
Awake with T of tango. Yeah?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Awake?
Awake.
Class, what do you think? Everyone will dance. What is, Nelsis?
A woke up is very irregular. No?
It's irregular.
Sorry.
Awake, awoke. Oh, with T, everybody saying. T, teacher, T. Todos van a bailar. Okay, very good, Valeska, very good. You were the first victim. You were the first victim. Evelyn Chavez, what is the past tense of? What is the past tense of return? Return.
Return.
The tango?
Sí.
Tango or delta?
Delta.
Oh, delta. Okay, okay. Very good. Robert, what is the past tense of promise? Promise.
With the delta at the end. Promise it.
You sure? So how would be with delta promised? That's not the pronunciation. It's not with delta, it's with tango, the sound of the S, promise. Repeat in your houses, promised, promised. Very good. So let's see. Camila. Excuse. Excuse. What is the past tense?
Excuse it. Excuse it.
With tango?
No, with the delta. I can hear you.
Teacher, your microphone is turned off.
We
Hello.
don't hear you.
Easy, ¿verdad? Okay, so excuse is the sound of Z. So it's group number 2. Z as zebra, Zulu, right? But the pronunciation is not excused. No. Es como si agregáramos literalmente la letra D al verbo, excused. Let's do it more visual. The verb is excuse, right? So the last sound is the sound of the Z. But in past tense, because it's a regular verb, I will add ed or only a D, but the pronunciation is like I only add the D sound to the verb. Excused. Repeat, excused. And be careful with this class because it's very confusing sometimes. A veces se pueden confundir. Por eso no es la última letra, la letra escrita, ¿no? Sino es el último sonido. Porque miren, este termina con E, pero el sonido no es el de la E. No es excuse. No, es excused. And past tense, excused. Makes sense. Yes? All right. So